Hello there, it's time for another basic science lesson on the human organ system. Today we'll be looking at the topic, the human circulatory. Now the objective of this lesson is to help learners to describe the human circulatory system and its functions, describe the types of circulation, state and describe the parts of the circulatory system, that is, their structure and function. Now, what is the human circulatory system? The human circulatory system consists of a network of arteries and veins and capillaries, with the heart pumping blood through it. Its primary role is to provide essential nutrients, minerals, and hormones to various parts of the body. Now, alternatively, the circulatory system is also responsible for collecting metabolic waste and toxins from the cells and tissues to be purified or expelled from the body. Now, this is a diagrammatic representation of the human circulatory system. It talks about the network of arteries, veins, and the heart that pumps blood to and from. Now, moving along, we'll be looking at the types of circulation. Now, there are two types of circulation in man, namely the pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. In pulmonary circulation, the blood is pumped from the heart to the lungs and back to the heart, while in systemic circulation, blood is pumped from the heart to the other parts of the body and back to the heart. So this is a diagrammatic representation of the types of circulation. In the pulmonary circulation, the oxygenated blood moves from the heart to the lungs, where the blood exchanges the carbon dioxide in it for oxygen from the lungs, and the oxygenated blood moves from the lungs back to the heart. While in systemic circulation, blood moves from the heart to various oxygenated blood moves from the heart to various parts of the body where it is needed, while the oxygenated blood moves from the part of the body back to the heart. So this is a diagrammatic representation of the types of circulation, the pulmonary and the systemic circulation. Now, moving ahead, let's look at the components of the circulatory system. Now, the parts of the circulatory system are the heart, which is a muscular organ that pumps blood throughout our bodies. We have the blood vessels, which include the arteries, veins, and capillaries. Now, finally, we have the blood, made up of red and white blood cells, plasma, and platelets. So this is a diagrammatic representation of the components of the circulatory system. We have the heart, which is a muscular organ that pumps blood. We have the blood vessels, which is composed of the artery, vein, and capillaries. And we have the blood, which is made up of other components like plasma, white blood cell, platelets, and red blood. Now, moving ahead, we'll be taking a closer look at the components of the circulatory system. We have the blood. Now, the blood is the body's fluid connective tissue, and it forms a vital part of the human circulatory system. Now, as I said earlier, the blood is made up of the plasma, the platelets, the red blood cells, and the white blood cells, and we're going to look at them in detail. Now, the plasma here is the liquid part of the blood. It transports nutrients, hormones, and proteins. It is a yellow liquid that makes up about 55% of the body's blood volume. So that is the plasma. It is a major component of the blood. Now, another component is the blood platelets, which form clots to stop bleeding. Platelets make up less than 1% of the blood. So the function of the platelets is to form clots to stop bleeding when there is an injury in any part of the body. We also have the red blood cells. Now, this is a diagrammatic representation of the red blood cell. Now, the red blood cell carry fresh oxygen throughout the body and remove carbon dioxide. Now, the red blood cells make up about 40 to 45% of the blood volume. Now, finally, we have the white blood cells. Now, the white blood cells is part of the body's immune system. It detects and fights viruses and bacteria. There are 5 major types of white blood cells, and they make up less than 1% of the blood. So this is the components of, or these are the components of the blood, right? Now, moving along, we'll be looking at the second component of the circulatory system, which are the blood vessels. Now, the blood vessels are a network of pathways through which blood travels throughout the body. The blood vessels consist of arteries, veins, and capillaries. Now, the arteries carry blood from the heart to the body. The vein returns the blood from the body back to the heart, while the capillaries are the tiny network of blood vessels that link the veins to the arteries in the tissue. So this is the artery right here. You see, it carries blood from the heart to the various parts of the body that need them. So here we have the vein that takes blood, deoxygenated blood, from the parts of the body back to the heart, while the artery here carries oxygenated blood from the heart to the various parts of the body. So we have the capillaries, which is a network between a link or the network between the artery and the vein right here. The blue color shows that the vein carries deoxygenated blood, while the red color shows that the blood from the heart is oxygenated. Now, moving along, we'll be looking at the major component of the circulatory system, which is the heart. Now, the heart is a muscular organ that pumps blood round the body. It contains 4 chambers, namely the right and the left auricles. So we have the right auricle here and the left auricle. It also have the right and the left ventricle. So this is the right and the left ventricle right here. So we are going to look at them closely right now. Now, the right atrium or the auricle, which is shown right here, collects oxygen poor blood or oxygen deprived blood from the body and then drains the blood into the right ventricle. So the blood that comes from the various parts of the body comes to the heart right here into the right auricle or atrium and passes it to the right ventricle. Now, the right ventricle pumps the blood low in oxygen to the lungs. The lungs then refill the blood with oxygen. So right here, as the blood moves from the right atrium to the right ventricle, the right ventricle takes the blood and passes it to the lungs, where it is oxygenated or filled with oxygen. Then afterwards, the left atrium or the left auricle receives the oxygenated blood from the lungs and pumps it to the left ventricle right here. So the left ventricle pushes the oxygenated blood into your aorta, which you see right here. This is the aorta right here. So the left ventricle pushes oxygenated blood into your aorta, from which the blood is pumped to the entire body. So as the oxygenated blood is pushed from the left ventricle, it goes out through the aorta and it goes to the various parts of the body, and the cycle goes on and on and on, ensuring that oxygen and nutrients get to the various parts of the. So that is that about the human circulatory system. Before we go, let's take a look at the summary quickly. The human circulatory system consists of a network of arteries, veins, and capillaries, with the heart pumping blood through it. Its primary role is to provide essential nutrients, minerals, and hormones to various parts of the body. Now, the parts of your circulatory system are the heart, the blood, and the blood vessels. Now, blood is the body's fluid connective tissue, and it forms a vital part of the human circulatory system. The blood vessels are a network of pathways through which blood travels throughout the body. The heart is a muscular organ that pumps blood round. Now, with this, we have come to the end of our lesson for today. Now, before we go, I want to pause this video and attempt to answer these assessments to see how much of the lessons that you've actually imbibed. Now, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this video, and I will see you again in the next lesson. Bye bye.